Hello and welcome to MS Report, the online Gundam talk show we call a podcast even though it isn't. I'm Second Soundwave from Channel 2S.
How's it going, YouTube? Dan the Plastic Man here. I hope you guys are doing well. As Second said, this is episode 9 of MS Report, and we actually have a special guest to introduce after Max. So,
and here's Max Duo, the man with the boring voice.
And Mr. Guest, please introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? It's Shoki01 here on the MS Report. Thanks for actually having me, guys.
Pleasure.
No problem.
Welcome.
Great to have you.
Yep. Well, you guys were nice enough to be the first people to kind of talk to me and criticize my videos on YouTube. So it's nice to actually be in here on the MS Report and actually get to talk with you about all the same nerdy stuff we enjoy.
Yeah, it's cool to have a guest on our show finally.
You mean a real guest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler doesn't count.
I'm sure Dan's cat looks at his mic every now and then, probably.
Oh, she's snoring.
My cat's here right
me,
now.
so-
I don't have a cat.
Well, that's your problem.
That's why my subscribers are so low. I need a cat.
Yeah.
They are big on the internet. Cat, dog, and all those other things.
Oh, no. I remember when that meme was in full swing. That is like top 10 worst memes. Like, that's number one.
Breathing intensifies.
Focus.
It's funny.
But this isn't the meme cast. This is MS Report. So,
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Speaking of which, though, at least we're going to go there. I did really enjoy Dan's special guest on his last unboxing video.
Yes, little sweetie having to give her bite of approval on all the part bags.
I've never seen a cat do that. That was hilarious.
oh, cats do that all the time. They love eating crinkly things.
Yeah, I was building the guy on at Dan's house, and she just like beelined into the room like, hey, look at this on the floor. Let me get all these bags.
I've definitely seen them play in boxes and whatnot, but obviously I haven't lived with an indoor cat for much of my life. So that's hilarious.
Yeah, my cat will actually, you know how when you know how like when you're cutting the parts off, whenever you like cut a little bit away from the runner and then you kind of cut again closer to it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of times when you cut again closer, you know how it kind of like shoots off a little piece of plastic?
Will she chase it?
Well, yeah, she will sit on my bed and just stare at me, and when the piece of plastic flies off, she'll like jump across the room and then find it and just like sniff it and look at it and then go back to the bed and then wait for the next piece to fly off.
Now, she'd only throw it in the trash for you.
She almost could. She takes things out of the trash, so that's one step closer, I guess.
Speaking of that,
Recycling.
I like randomly finding pieces of runners on the floor that have just somehow survived cleaning. Like I have vacuumed since I built the Akatsuki, but I still occasionally find like these golden pieces on the floor.
Nice.
There are like little colored specks everywhere underneath my workbench.
Oh yeah, our dining room table and everything underneath it, because that's my build station now. It's just a colorful mess, especially since I've been working on my custom that's all different colors. It's
Yes.
pink, green, blue. I did find that one little tiny adapter from the Schwalbe Grays for the claw.
Uh-huh.
I found that like 4 weeks later, still on the floor. I'm like, I swept. How did I miss this?
I've got a worse one. Like 2 apartments ago, one guy, we had a table with a glass top, and somebody thought that he could sit on it. And
oh no.
he was able to do this for a moment before it exploded onto the floor. And we swept everything up. We vacuumed about 30 times. And somehow one of our roommates, he would walk around the house barefoot. It would be a year later, and he would, and you're like, just a year later, and he's got a piece of glass shard stuck in his foot.
Broken glass
That can't be
never
fun.
goes away.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Never.
But thankfully, it
think
only went to him.
I remember when I was, I think when I built the High Grade Revive RX-78, I built it on my bed because I was bored and thought, hey, why not the quick build? I'm feeling lazy, I'll just lie down and build it. And then for like the next 3 days afterwards, I was finding little bits of runner embedded in my sheets.
Mm-hmm. That in my old place, that's where I built, was on my bed. So I would find little runner bits, a stray weapon, or even more dangerous, or even more dangerously, my X-Acto knife.
I was about to say that, yes. I did actually lose track of my X-Acto knife and then found it later on my bed once.
I completely slept with it in my bed No cuts, nothing. No idea how. But
Magic.
yeah, from then on, I made sure I knew where it was whenever I quit building.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to set that right there in the box. Now I know exactly where it is, so I don't find it later with my jugular.
Yeah.
That randomly reminds me, a lot of times when I'm trying to clean up runners, I'll be holding the piece really close and I'm, cutting the little itty bitty, shreds off as I can. And later on I realize like, hey, I sliced a nice line through my, like the tip of my fingernail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I've
I do
done
that
that,
all
like-
the time. Yeah.
I don't even feel it on my index finger or thumb anymore.
Yeah.
It's like they're just numb at this point. I've taken so much out of those. I took a good chunk out with a really fresh blade once, and I went, huh. Okay, keep building.
Because the thing
Oh,
with
just-
the razor cuts is they're so clean that it doesn't even really hurt anyways. So
Yeah. It
Well,
doesn't
just
even-
despite cutting my fingernail, I've got pretty good knife safety otherwise, I think.
right.
I've got like
Oh,
a
there you
big
go.
knife collection, and my friends would always, in college, they're always like, oh, how many times have you cut yourself? It's like, with my knives, none. Someone else's knife once.
Right. Like the hobby knife I'm using right now, the blade's so dull at this point that I probably really couldn't cut myself with it if I wanted to. But generally, yeah, I don't tend to cut myself that much.
Yeah, you learn after the first 20 or 30 times.
Yeah, it only took me like 3. Like actual bleeding cuts to be like, okay, so now I know how much pressure to not use.
What I find more than anything, especially on a fresh blade, it's not a cut, it's a stab of just that really super pointy tip. It's
Yes.
just like, it slides over.
The tip actually broke off of mine because I was using it to try and pry apart parts. So
Yeah.
I can't actually stab things with it anyway. So it's kind of a safety blade at this point.
I have actually had the tip break off in the tip of my finger. Like,
That's
luckily it was right there, so I just took it out with a pair of tweezers. But just the itty bitty tip of that thing, just tink right in there. I was like, oh! Obviously, curse words were omitted.
yeah.
Yeah, that was not fun.
Okay, Max can feel free to find an appropriate image for this on Google image search.
Oh, I bet, yeah. Somebody who just stabbed their hand and like holding
Yeah,
it.
just Google like finger
Yeah.
injury or something.
Stabbed finger meme. I'm sure it's out there.
I'll just be a
Yeah.
bear guy again.
There you go.
A bear guy with a knife.
Bear guy stabbed by a knife.
Okay, that's weird. I don't know
So
why
we
my
don't
phone
really
is
have much
closed.
news to go over, but we do have.
Well, we know Vidar's blue.
Yeah, we do have the Vidar's color scheme, which I'm quite a fan of, actually.
We
I
did
think
have
it's a little
news
too
pop
light
up
for
right
my
before the podcast.
The
I think the
giant.
Vidar
Not
is a
giant
little
news,
too
though.
light for my taste. Like, I wish it was like a little closer to the Chimaris purple kind of, I think, or maybe like a dark like navy blue. Like the kind of really light blue they had for it isn't really clicking with me.
I liked the blue, but I also, when I look at it, it's like all of this is painted, so it's probably not going to be quite as good looking on the actual kit until you paint it yourself.
For me, it reminds me a little. It still reminds me too much of the Transient Glacier in the way that it's kind of that lightish blue, purplish, but then a lot of the gray, then the spiky shoulders, and this. I like it, but it bothers me at the same time.
I was gonna say actually that I'm thinking actually with how heavily painted that one prototype you've seen is, it might end up being a Transient Glacier situation where like every single time we see it, it'll look like it's a slightly different color.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that when it first was. You got
Yes.
the like bluish images, you got the purple images.
And then
The
the gray
green
and the
ones.
white, and
Yeah,
then
but-
eventually I just gave up. And I'm like,
And then
okay,
there
whatever
was
color
green
it
at
is
one
when it
point.
comes out, it'll be.
And then they do have the weapon set that you'll be able to buy separately coming up.
Which I've seen in both blue and purple.
I've always seen the blue. I've not seen purple, so I don't know
It was
what they're
purple
doing.
when they first showed it. It was purple, but now they're showing it as blue.
Maybe it'll be a situation where when it's used, it's extreme mode. It goes. Oh, actually, no. That totally makes sense with Island Wars.
Yeah.
That the crystals
right,
would be purple because of the new 2.0 Plavsky crystals.
Right. Yeah. The Scramble Gundam when it went berserk mode, the crystals changed from blue to purple.
So it totally makes sense that there would be blue and purple Transient Glacier.
Yeah, and actually, I wonder if they'll do like a purple transient as like a P Bondi thing, or a purple scramble rather,
Maybe
with,
it
like
comes
the energized gems.
with the crystals poking out of it and everything.
Well, maybe not that far, but like just
I
with
would
like
want
purple gems instead of blue.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Or just give us the expansion. Just give us the extra clear pieces. We don't need the entire Gundam again. Give Give us a $5 P Bandai kit that anyone can buy.
Well, that's
you
the thing with the P Bandai
$5,
stuff. Is it's
probably
for,
more like 20.
it's for things like that, or for things like, the Gyaradoga Unicorn version, where it's like, hey, here's a kit that's mostly the same, just with little differences.
Yeah, or you're talking about the full frontal?
No, I'm talking about the Gyaradoga Unicorn version. It's literally a Gyaradoga with sleeve stickers.
Oh, that one. Okay, well, what was the... It's not
There's
Gyaradoga.
a
What is it?
frontal one as well, both high grade and master grade.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it's got the weird spiky shoulders instead, or something like that.
No,
What are
it's
you
just got
talking
it-
about?
Oh no,
It
I'm
was
thinking the. Well, they had the Angelo version.
Yeah, but that was a high grade mass retail release, though.
Okay, what am I thinking?
But there is a P Bandai high grade and master grade full frontal Gyaradoga.
Yes, there is.
That's what we were talking about.
Okay, someone said purple somewhere in the chatter there, and it kind of confused me.
Yeah, I think I dropped out for a second, but I'm here.
Nope.
Yes, it was just
You're
a
still
couple
with us.
seconds of total silence, and then we were back.
It happens. Yeah,
In
but
case
the only
there
other
was
thing
long
was like,
periods of silence.
I do like though, saying there was no news at all, but then like, well, I was gonna say literally right before we recorded, but no, that was like 30 minutes before we recorded.
Yeah.
Dan was like, hey, they're releasing the other colors of the Yugo, but those are P Bandai.
Which
And it's going to
makes
be
sense.
a twin kit too, like
Makes sense.
both of them in the same box.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Okay, something's happening on my network connection. I just got a notification.
Right, and Bianca's getting dangerously close to my workspace, so I'm gonna have to evict her.
Okay, I think I'm good now.
Clunk, clunk.
The shade for my lamp doesn't actually have like the screw that holds it on, so just like resting over the top thing. So when you reach under there to turn it off, it like rattles around.
Y'all keep talking.
It's exciting, especially if you touch it and it like almost falls off.
Yes,
It's flying around. I guess maybe not.
that's knock it off sometimes.
So now that we've gone over the very brief bit of news, shall we do some kit updates?
Sure.
It was funny. I was thinking about saying this when we were talking about kitty cats so much earlier. I was like, we're talking about all these cats and what our cats are doing. We should also mention what we're doing.
Yes, this turned into a Gunpla with Cats episode.
Yes, the cat report.
That's gonna be the title of this episode: Gunpla with Cats.
Kit Kat report.
The pun. I just got it. It hurts me.
Anyway, I think last time I said I was starting the Quanta, and I literally just finished that last night. So I feel fairly happy with that, except for my last-minute realization that the base it came with was not for it, but for the sword, which I'll never build the giant sword, so that got stolen by the Gaion. Which now has me starting up the Efreet Custom, which I've had since release, and only
I
just
wanna
now
build one of
finally
those
opened.
soon.
It's a very fun build.
I do like how when you start it up, you build almost like I guess frame is not the right word, but you build like a whole like black torso and put armor on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that
It's like a
was pretty
pseudo
cool.
frame.
Yeah,
I'm
better than
trying-
having pieces or stickers for it.
I'm trying to think of
Definitely,
everything that I've built since gone through a slew of high grade.
It's only been a week or two, though.
But
It's not
we
like
had-
last time where it was like a month.
But I've done Da Vinci, I've done Giancelot, the test type Zaku, and I'm on the local type now. So
You finished the test type
Decent
Zaku?
Hmm?
You finished the test type Zaku?
not
I thought you were still
completely.
working on that.
Nope, it's construction is complete, but I'm
Well, he has to work on it just so he can mock me with it.
Well, yeah, but
Make a review video just dancing it around.
yeah.
I'm mean, but I'm not that mean.
Woohoo! Look at me!
Yeah.
It's like a really jerky stop motion that's like 5 frames per second.
Disco dancing.
And like filmed
Yeah.
vertically on a cell phone.
See, I feel like I'm actually like far behind now on building because I got stuck doing Double October for 3 weeks, so I haven't effectively built much.
Yeah, well, you were like cranking out a video pretty much every day, so
Yeah, I'm
quite
kind of
a
impressed
bit of
with their
that.
output, I have to say.
Well, like I keep, we've had internet issues here before, but I keep like very lightly losing connection, so it'll go slow mo for a second. So,
Huh.
but otherwise, it's on my end. I know for a fact that it's on my computer's fine, everything like that. But sometimes my Bluetooth is dumb, technical difficulties. It'll do
Right,
it.
right.
It'll do it even when I'm editing because I'll use it to edit, and then all of a sudden it starts slowing everything down. I was
Oh,
like,
no.
it's like, what the heck are you doing? So I'll just turn it off, turn it right back on. So if I disappear randomly, that's why. It'll just be my audio. I'll still be here.
See,
But
so
I remember-
far I haven't heard anything terrible.
I remember when I first,
see, it's
shortly
good right
after I
now
got
for me.
my Bluetooth headphones I tried
Mhm.
to use like a little Bluetooth to normal headphone jack dongle adapter thing to use them for my soundboard that I use for recording audio.
Yeah.
And I discovered that there is, in fact, a lag with Bluetooth, so I basically just ended up making a speech jammer, and it helped with nothing.
We had that one time when your batteries started dying and you had to switch
Yeah.
to something
So I
else,
just
and
I
you went
took off my
deep
headphones, so I was
underwater.
just using speakers, and yes, I went deep underwater. So what I was doing is I was like clamping my hands over the speakers on the tablet because I had no way of turning them down otherwise, lower than they already were. So like just hoping that the sound wouldn't bounce back in the microphone enough to create a feedback loop. That was an interesting episode.
Yes, it was.
And eventually, like,
They're
yeah,
all
my
interesting,
batteries
all
died.
in
We
their
gotta
own
go.
way.
Yeah, and I
What are you
remember
talking
also
about?
that was basically you had to leave for your issues, and then Dan was just like, well, I'm falling asleep, so let's was like, oh, we still got to finish it.
Right. We were just gonna abandon you and just leave you to finish the podcast.
I already have an hour of myself talking to no one on the computer, so
It would be like that one Game Grumps playthrough they just did that's just Aaron. So I have been working on the Reba-Woo. I've got the whole upper body done so far, the whole sort of top core fighter or whatever you want to call it. And you can tell it's a really old kit. Like the way it's put together, not only does it have like those old sort of single jointed elbows, but it doesn't even have like a separate gray part for the joint. So like there's no even like appearance of a frame around the elbow.
oh god.
And then the elbow itself only bends like 80 degrees, and the wrist has like this really weird like joint where it's like fixed at kind of a 45. So his wrists are constantly either curling forward or curling inward, depending on how you have the elbows oriented. And the shoulders, the joint for them, it's the shoulder pads kind of swing up and down for the transformation, but there's no like polycaps in there anywhere. So they just kind of, and there goes Kevin. Okay, we're going to keep going. So shoulders can like flop around up and down, and then the shoulder attachment point looks very kind of hokey. Like it looks like two joints connected together, as they didn't really like smooth it very well into the design. The whole arms in general, just the way they're articulated, like they move around all right, I think enough to get stuff done, but they don't look pretty.
Yeah. Well, I guess that makes the RE more exciting.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
I'm
actually
back.
really looking. Yes,
Sorry.
he's back.
Total technical issues. Don't know what happened. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
but
spotted that.
anyway, I am having started building this. Yes, I am actually getting more and more interested in the Re 100 Bawu because I was originally going to buy a normal Bawu to go with this because I really, really like the design, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to get the Re 100 instead because I'm not sure I want to build this mold a second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really good for
No.
just the one time.
Yeah, on the bright side, at least the normal Bawu wouldn't have those awful stickers. Like sleeve marking stickers in general, like they'd be fine if they were just like wrapping over the flat side of the parts they're on, but they like have to curve around the edge and they just don't stick down and they look awful. I did pick up some little mini like 0.5 millimeter round brushes today though, so I'm gonna see if I can maybe
Kill the stickers.
Yeah, just see if I can paint it up a bit after I'm done the review. I might even upgrade the white sleeve patterns to silver just to make it look fancy.
Nice.
Or maybe even gold. I don't know. I mean, it's full frontal, and the Sinanju had gold, so might as well keep it consistent. The only part that's worrying me about that, though, is that most of the sleeve markings are sculpted in, but the ones on the chest, like not the one at the top of the chest, but the ones kind of underneath the chest vents are actually not sculpted in, which means I'd have to freehand those or just come up with another pattern for them, and I'm not looking forward to that.
Oh.
So you mentioning gold reminds me of the thing I like seeing on Shoki's kits, all his 00 ones where he always makes the thrusters gold. I think that makes them stand out real nicely. Versus
Yeah,
just
in general,
like, dull white.
the stuff he does to the 00 kits, especially the Season 1 ones, just makes them look way better. Like, they need that extra level of paint.
They do. The yellow is just terrible. I mean, I won't paint the rest of the things gold, but the thrusters need to be gold, period.
You would paint everything gold if it was for Quattro Bagina. Sorry, your suit can't be red. Fine, gold.
Yes.
Speaking of horrible yellow plastic, I guess there was one other news thing we missed that we keep missing was the random yellow Hulk Hogan mode gun cannon.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah, that thing. I thought you were going to talk about the 7-Eleven kits.
No, not the 7-Eleven kits.
No soft drink Gundams.
The 7-Eleven kits, because they did that kind of quote-unquote gold Freedom Gundam, and I think it's the Freedom Revive and Barbatos, I think. I mean, they're also, I think this is actually worth talking about, but they're doing 7-Eleven exclusive perfect grades of the Final Battle Unicorn and Green Frame Astray. Like,
it's so dumb.
who would go to 7-Eleven to buy a perfect grade?
Maybe Japan really likes 7-Eleven.
No, they
That's
do.
like going to McDonald's. That's like going to McDonald's to buy a small car. I mean, why would you do that?
Well, I mean, the whole deal with 7-Eleven over there, it is like a big deal for them. Of course, they love their slushies and everything like that. They're on that, like we were back in the early '80s when it first kind of debuted over here. But for them, it's almost like a small supermarket as well. Like we would have like a really awesome big Buc-ee's or something. I think that's kind of how.
Uh-oh.
But we don't have like $200
Shoki.
model kits at the supermarket though. Like that's just ridiculous. You know, like I get the high grade as like a little impulse buy for just want something quick to build on the road or something. But like a perfect
Not
grade,
Build Fighters.
like maybe if you were in like a cross country commute from like the East Coast to the West, you might like bring a perfect grade to like build the passenger seat. But I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're Mal and you build it in 2 hours.
yeah.
Yeah, with nothing but a pair of nippers, and people are screaming about how it's the best, Gunpla they've ever seen their entire life.
Or you pay a truck driver in a Kshatriya.
Yes.
Just leave it on the dashboard. Like, what do I do with this?
Of course, there's the more weird thing of, how Build Fighters is like Bandai's like dream universe, because every single person on the planet like knows what Gunpla is and loves it.
Yes.
Well, that's not true.
Here's a truck driver. Oh, so beautiful and wonderful.
Yes.
Actually, that's not true, because if you were raised in the mountains, you don't know anything about Gunpla. Like that guy.
So he's the one person in the Gundam Build Fighters universe that doesn't know about Gunpla. Well, him and Reiji, but Reiji's not earthly, so he doesn't count.
And
Yeah, that's what Bandai
Caroline.
would really love. We got people from other planets coming here buying Gundams.
Yeah.
Caroline, the one who used the SD Knight Gundam in season 1, she didn't know what Gunpla was because she didn't know what the Bear Guy San was that China had made.
But still, it was like the people who didn't know what Gundams were or Gunpla was were like in the extreme minority.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But there are those out there.
The fact that we had like sacred monk shrines dedicated to the
Okay, what the heck?
Or then the fact that, in the first series, the build fights always damage and break your Gundam, so you have to buy more of them over and over and over and over and over again.
Yes, and then by the time we got to the Tri, it was just a mess.
Yeah, they had their protected battle mode.
Yes. But the Tri ran something for another episode. I don't feel like getting into that right now. We'd be here till midnight if I went into full why I don't like Build Fighters Tri modes. So
in general, for like Build Fighters, I just kind of look at it as like, okay, well, here's some more kits. I don't really care too much about the series, though.
Is Shoki
Just
still
because
here?
I'm so used to Gundam being, here's War Story. No, I think he's gone because he seems completely quiet.
Okay.
I think he got DC'd yet again.
Yep.
What's funny is we talked for like an hour before recording, and he never had this happen once.
Yeah. And now as soon as we start recording, he's dropped out like 3 times. So should we move on to, because we've already talked about news, we talked about kits we're building. Should we move on to the main topic of the video now? Or should
I'm
we
all
wait
for
for
that.
him?
Now it finally realized he's gone, but I guess we can go ahead and hop into that.
Okay, so Dan first.
Yeah, the main
Dan the
topic for the
Plastic
evening.
Man.
Main topic for the evening is some of our favorite characters from across the Gundam metaverse. I'll start with, and Shoki has returned. He is unmuted, so I take it that means he's fully back. You still with us, Shoki?
I wonder if you can hear us but not speak. Like, Shoki, if you can hear us right now, like type something into the chat.
I do remember one time this happened with. Oh, it was when your mic died.
It was when my mic died, yes, because I
Can you
was
guys
trying to
not
use
hear
the
me?
webcam on my on the computer because I thought, hey, it's gonna be better quality than the stupid mic on this tablet. Plugged it in and it worked awesome for 4 seconds. And then for the rest of the time, I could just hear you because, of course, I was using the computer speakers to listen in, but I could not speak to you without my mic working. And now I'm back to the crappy tablet mic.
Well, in the very, very, very beginning, you sounded like you're underwater all the time, so we have
Yeah,
at
I
least
remember that.
pulled you into the oxygen.
Yes, now I just sound like I'm calling you from like the other side of the world or something. Long distance call from India. Yes.
Okay, okay.
I was gonna say, I hear breathing.
Oh, I don't know what. Okay, it made no sense. That just completely dropped. Said the app was failing, all kinds of stuff, and then
It said you were in the call though.
well, I got my phone open on the on the call, but I can't talk through it for I don't know why. You know,
Right.
but I reopened it, didn't even touch it on the computer, and all of a sudden it came right back.
I was about to say the quality of your mic went through the
Bling.
ceiling.
Yeah, but yeah, no, they must be working on the line somewhere nearby because we normally don't have this.
Oh,
I think he might have just disappeared again.
he had a nice little strange echo for that.
Yeah,
Wonder if we ought to
Huh.
rename this episode 8.5.
yeah. The episode Shoki was in sometimes.
Partial Shoki. His troubles with the internet's kind of reminded me of they've been, or well, they kind of finished, but they've been installing Google
Fiber.
the Google Fiber. I was about to say it's the fiber thing, and then
Somebody's echoing.
Hold on, we got feedback.
we've got double.
We should do like a separate video that's just like all the technical failures like cut together.
No, I'm just loving like watching like his camera flail around wildly.
Yes.
But I
Like
was-
this will be like
hold
the second thing is going to be, here's episode 8 or episode 9 or whatever, and then here's everything that we took out of episode 9. And it's going to be like
Yeah, there you go.
35 minutes of us waiting to get back on and just complete chaos.
I was gonna say the
Yep,
thing
loud and
about
clear.
the thing with fiber though was they were installing fiber near someone's area, and they cut the water pipes like under his driveway or
Oh,
something,
wow.
and then put the driveway back on top, and suddenly he was like, "Hey, I've got a $400 water bill or whatever," and they were like, "We're not gonna pay for it."
Quite the stack of boxes behind you, Shoki.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, we can do a quick little room tour. All of a sudden, you people won't get to see
I
this.
your detail.
So there. That's. Oh, you okay? You wanted to talk about display? Hold on. Let's see if I can turn the camera around. I know there's. Oh, hey, I can turn the camera off. Amazing. Yeah. So I should just default to the phone from now on, huh?
Yeah, that would probably be the better way to do it.
All right. So there's that IB. There, the 00 display. What I was telling you about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
With the way I've got the interlock, different things. Okay, we can go back to the actual thing now. Let me get my phone set up.
I wanted to say earlier when you said the app was failing, I want to say, come on, we're not using Skype. This isn't Microsoft.
Yeah.
So y'all can hear me fine now?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so like I said, I'll just default to my phone from now on. Forget
Right.
the real technology. Samsung nailed it with the S6, guys. Come on.
Yes.
It does film, video, streaming, everything. Just go with it, guys. So where were we before I
This
completely...
episode of MS Report brought to you by Samsung.
It is now, because apparently Suddenlink sucked.
Be pretty nice.
Now I
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah,
And
we
to
should get a
that-
sponsor.
So before your last big drop, I was getting ready to start the actual theme of the night, the favorite characters.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
before we go into that, can we talk about at least the one project I am working on that I couldn't actually speak?
Oh, yeah, sure. Right.
we did
Right ahead.
kind of skip over
Yeah.
that a little.
I was not part of that conversation. I was just gone, barely listening to you guys talk about it.
Well, I
Yeah.
assumed your thing of it was basically the Double October thing, since you didn't have a ton of time.
Yeah. Oh, but I've got one build video coming up this week. It's non-Gunpla, but it's still a build video that I really enjoyed doing.
Mhm.
Anybody following me saw what I did before I went on vacation should know about that.
Is
but
it
I
like
have been
some
work-
Kotobukiya thing or?
Nope, Lego.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's Wally and the Big Bang Theory.
Well, yeah, good job, Dan. Surprises, really, they last. So we can put this up after those videos go live.
It'll
No,
take me
I'm-
a few days to go through everything.
There you go. That'll be on Tuesday anyway. So anybody who is watching this know that the Wally video is live. So come over to my channel and watch it. But no, I am working on my Grays Kai Bata or Kuro Bata, my custom Grays that I'm doing for a group build in our Facebook group. My channel saw the kind of a progress video about a month ago. So I finally started painting it, and I finally decided on the color scheme, which was just kind of a mix of different dark grays and blacks. So I've got gunmetal, which I'm going to leave normal, glossy, shiny. A really nice airship or gunship gray, which is just beautiful. It's almost my favoriteest dark gray ever, but in a can. So that'll actually work out really nice. And then matte black, which I'm going to use sparingly, but it'll be on there somewhere. And I remember, Tyler, you were asking me about it whenever I brought it up a little while ago in the chat, and it's going to have like yellow highlights on it.
Okay.
So it'll be nice dark grays, but then some bright yellow little highlights here and there. And then even got some of the Tamiya clear red that I'm going to use in a couple spots when I can.
It's kind of like that Freedom Gundam I showed you guys. That was like black,
Yeah.
like little yellow bits.
Yeah, it's not going to be quite on that level, unfortunately.
Right.
Because that thing was beautiful. But yeah, very similar color scheme. But if you remember the ribs that I have on that, if you looked at the pictures, the kind of the multi-graze ribs, those are going to be bright yellow, like the way Gundam's chest vents would be.
Okay.
Concept is what somebody would do if they had nothing but graze parts but wanted to build something like a Gundam.
I just say though, I'm kind of sad that it won't be the awesome teal and pink anymore.
Dude, I love that teal and pink, but it was a little too much on the side of what is it, Lockjaw? I forgot what Decepticon that is. The alligator is green and teal.
I think it was Piranacon, like the big C combiner guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, they're definitely in the Piranacon level of those. Yeah, I might have to do it again with those colors.
Yes.
But or something in that color scheme. But I do have this week. I'm going to be working on the Barbatos Lupus. I'm going to get back to building with that because got to get up to updated Gunpla finally instead of old stuff. And then basically it's going to be a rash of build videos for a while because I've done nothing but long old reviews.
Right.
And I'm almost tired of looking at double O kits.
There's no such thing.
Well, the sheer amount of transformation that had to go for the last video with Harut.
Right.
Because I had to transform Harut 2 or 3 times, Arios and the Gun Archer twice. And I left Curios in the background on his own. I didn't bother transforming him because I couldn't find the for the legs. So
right.
Yeah, that was the thing that was the most disappointing for me to see, that you had to literally give it like a whole new waist for transforming.
Exactly. Just to give it the frog leg effect, it had to have an entire new waist section. I don't know how they couldn't pull that off with just a new hip joint that just could be,
like with the 100, they literally just gave it like a wider socket for the joint and it worked fine.
Yeah,
like, there's really no excuse for the high grade being like that.
Other than the high grade came earlier, I have to assume.
By like maybe 6 months, I think.
Yes, stuff like that is part of what kind of got me back in the like 90s with the Gundam Wing stuff, where I'm just kind of stuck in the thing of like, the 1/100ths are always better, because back then the 1/144ths really were really, really cheap.
Yeah.
White blades, white weapons, stickers, no color.
Well, look at the first generation Freedom HG.
Oh, that thing's horrible.
It's so bad. That's why the revive was like a miracle from God.
Just like the
even among the absolute abominations that are in the high grade seed line, the Freedom was like the absolute cherry on top.
Yeah, I saw that and went no.
Little funny being the main character's ultimate mobile suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
they love those so much.
What was it?
They could have done more than that. But anyway, Shoki, have you built the 100 00 kits?
No, I've never actually built any of the 1/100s, just the master grades. Because I already started. Well, I had the master grade line, and at the time, none of the 00 kits were available. They were all out of stock. Right. Of course, now they're reprinting them like crazy,
Yep.
And I've already got all the HGs, and I don't tend to build 2 of the same suit.
See, that's why I don't do master grades. Cause I like having everything the same scale, but I also don't like doing repeats. So, like, if I get the master grade, Exia, and then I get the rest of the Gundams as high grades, then I need a high grade Exia or a real grade Exia to fit in with the rest of them.
To complete that collection, yeah. Well,
exactly.
that's because I was a pure master grade builder for probably the first year and a half of building. I didn't get into high grades until the HG 00 line.
Right.
So the I think it was probably the Overflag was probably the first one I'd built, to be perfectly honest. I could be wrong. Built SDs, but that was as far outside of the master grade line. So literally master grade to SDs, and then I picked up the HG line, and of course went a little too crazy for the last year and a half.
Quite the change.
Yeah.
Have you done any real grades?
I did the real grade Wing Zero. But I wasn't. I mean, yeah, it's a great kit.
That is literally the worst example of the real grade line, though. It's like the most boring one they've done.
Well, it's not as bad as some of the issues that are with the Grandpa one, but.
Well, yeah, but like the Gundam Mark II is awesome. The Justice Gundam's awesome. The Zagok is awesome. The Quanta is pretty awesome. The 00 Riser is pretty awesome. The Exia is pretty awesome. Yes, he doesn't like the 00 Riser, but that's
I know he doesn't.
Weird.
Yeah, but no, I went with that because I was doing a custom project and I needed the wings more than I needed anything else. but I went ahead and just got that because you're not just going to buy the wings. Built it just to say I built an RG, and then I got the Dreisberg gun attachments for it,
Uh-huh. Oh,
just
that's cool.
because they were cheap and cool. So
Yeah.
I still have the weapons from it, but I actually gave the kit itself to a buddy of mine just to do whatever with. I
Right.
kept the wings because I turned them into a custom backpack for a petite guy.
Okay.
So I have
That's
a, so I
awfully
have a,
large wings for a petite guy.
Those poor
Exactly.
wings.
No, it's pretty awesome because I actually mounted it directly to the bow on the back of the petite guy. So
Uh-huh.
it's actually mounted really perfectly, and it's just a backpack. And then you just put it on the to fly around like that. But I also took the time to seam line that petite guy as well.
Hmm.
So it was actually just a real fun custom that I wrangled myself into on a build day and didn't stop until it was finished. It was like it was never my intention to go full retard on it. No offense meant there, but you guys know what I mean when I say that.
Yep.
So you didn't stop to ask yourself, why am I doing this?
Yeah, it just kept going, and then it's like it had to be completed. So it was a lot of fun. I love my little angel guy. He's actually sitting there with my Christmas Gundam as well because it's the only things with angel wings.
Which color is it?
It's the light blue, the one that came with the Bear Guy family.
Okay.
And then it seam lined so well that I didn't paint it. It's just the raw plastic, but I seam lined it so well you still see the groove, but there's no groove. Like you know how bad the petite guy groove is in the head for that scene.
Yep.
Yeah, I seam lined that entire thing. You know how much sanding
wow.
there was? It is baby butt smooth. That's when I said I went full retard on it. It didn't
wow.
stop until it was perfect. But I love it. So what do you do? Now, since we're talking about our favorite things, why don't we actually get on topic?
Sure. Considering we're like, what, an hour into the podcast already?
Yeah, but we're going to edit 30 minutes of me failing out of it. So
Yes.
We're about 40 minutes in.
yeah, for everyone who's listening to this now, there was a very long period of my everything failing. So hey,
I probably
good thing
leave
it's that first time. And Dan's probably falling asleep over there.
Yeah, I am.
There he is.
Yes.
I thought he was gonna start snoring.
It's okay.
No, I would let you guys know. I would actually say goodnight and just bow out before I did that.
Yeah, he just not pass out on us. It's okay. We can keep him awake, right? Can we poke the bear a little bit? You know.
Ah!
Yes, let's poke the bear guy a little.
Is it poke the bear guy? Oh, okay. What's a trigger? Somebody get Dan's trigger.
00.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. How about that RG riser there, Dan?
It was a hunk of crap.
Okay, that's fine. So let's go back on topic to the thing we're supposed to talk about.
That was his not favorite. All right, but one of Dan's favorite characters.
I'll start with one of my favorite. I'll go ahead and go Cosmic Era. Andrew Waldfeld from Seed.
Coffee
and
Man.
Seed Destiny. Yep. Mr.
Oh, hey,
Coffee.
poor man's Rambarel. I remember him.
I'm drawing a blank. Which
He
one
was
was he?
the Logaway pilot.
Okay, that's what I thought you were talking about.
He liked coffee a lot.
That's
Mr.
right.
Tiger Suit.
Yes,
I liked him
love
because
that
he
guy.
liked coffee a lot.
Yeah, I remember. I think I told when you first started watching Seed. I told you about, or when I first got into Seed, I was like, this guy who's a coffee maniac. You're probably gonna like him, buddy.
Well, you say this, but I was watching Seed as it originally released, so
Yeah, I know, but I found him to be, again, I liked his charisma, the way they had his character written, and I really liked the dub voice actor Brian Drummond, who was my favorite version of Vegeta, and he's also Zex. So,
Oh, he really? Okay, yeah. He's talking about the older version of Vegeta.
yeah,
yeah, the super savage one.
Okay.
the
Yeah, no, actually, okay, yeah, I like that voice actor.
the Ocean dub, the old
Yes.
Ocean Canadian dub.
There we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I like his character too. He was just that cool, calm, collected leader, and then the fact that he turned their
He was a
way.
nice guy.
Yeah, once he kind of took over and he was helping out on the Eternal, he was just a good character. I mean, he didn't have anything to do in the second season, but he was just he
Takes
was
to pilot an orange Gaia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, eventually. But for a while, he just
Yeah.
kind of sat around. Strangely, he didn't have his coffee at that time either.
Well, he
No,
didn't jump in the
wasn't-
Akatsuki near the end, did he?
No.
No, that was Moo.
Okay, it was Moo that jumped in
Ooh.
there. Okay, yeah, it's been a while, guys. I mean, I enjoyed Seed and Seed Destiny as much as anyone in 2008, but or 6, whichever year it actually was.
Good question.
I've slept a lot since then. Well, 2009
Those
was
Seed Dreams.
00, so Seed was before that, so it had to be
Yeah, yeah.
sometime 8, 2007, 2008. And I was watching it live, like you were talking about, and every week waiting to see what was going to happen with Kira, everybody's favorite character at the time. Now everybody's most hated character, as it was.
The undefeatable man.
He's just
He's
awful.
dead, man. Actually, if we're going to talk Cosmic Era favorite characters, I will go ahead and just throw in Mu as my favorite, especially as my favorite Char clone from that series. Not counting his time as Neo, but definitely he's a great character. Of course, he's the one that the hero has to look up to and live up to more or less as the series goes on. Plus,
Yeah.
even though he did have that built-in specialness or that connection, he was just basically like the super pilot,
It was just kind of unfortunate that his machine he battled in was just like a weak little jet.
That thing, okay, come on. Not the Skygrasper, but the mobile armor thingy that he flew around in the beginning.
Mobius Zero.
Mobius Zero, yes.
I just mean when he was in the Skygrasper for a lot of battles, because it's like, what are you going to do against like these brand new awesome Gundams and stuff? Nothing.
Just deliver whatever pack Kira needs.
He just kind of annoyed them, which I guess is kind of funny because like they couldn't actually, he couldn't actually really destroy them. I mean, I guess he could destroy sensors or something, but they they did try to kill him, so I guess he worked well as a kind of shield.
When he could use the packs while in Skygrasper mode, he was actually worth it,
Well, I mean when it was Skygrasper only though, because usually if he had the packs, it was because he was going to go give them to Kira.
Didn't really have much of any weapons from what I remember.
No, it was just a delivery system.
I thought I had like
3 beam cannons.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I had Vulcans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything has Vulcans though, and they don't work for anything.
It's also got some missiles.
But yeah, no. Once he got in the strike near the final battle of the first season, that was just great. And the way, of course, he spoilers sacrificed himself to save the Archangel against that one blast. Which, let's be honest, that was actually pretty sweet.
It's just too bad they had to cheapen it in Destiny.
Yeah, but the fact that, of course, he eventually comes back.
I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but I remember when he died, I kind of disliked part of it, just thinking like the way it happened was kind of like, well, this was a little unnecessary.
Yeah, there was that, but of course, more unnecessary deaths in that show that were given way too much light versus his. We'll not go into depth. Talk about being triggered. We'll just let it go.
Yeah.
But,
I guess I'll go ahead and jump in real quick as well. We already kind of mentioned this series, but I'll pop in with I'm not stealing one that I know Second probably once or maybe thought about at least, but I'm gonna say I really like the Alleluia Haptism. I don't know. Part of me I've always kind of liked some of the weirdly like troubled characters. Like one of my favorite Marvel characters is Moon Knight, who's had like multiple personality issues many times. Winter Soldier's another favorite, and he's constantly like, as he goes back to being Bucky and then Bucky Cap and then, good Winter Soldier, he's always kind of, regretting his past and, feels like he can never make up for it. But I just kind of like, Alleluia. He was this, kind of kind guy and everything, then got this like sadistic, do whatever it takes to survive and torment people personality. And so the fact that they had that kind of war and, Hallelujah, if things got bad, would just rip control from him. And I like the way that they could, we agree on something, so now we're super, super awesome.
Yeah.
I liked that, but I didn't like that they kind of brought back the multiple personality thing for the second season. I wasn't really a fan of that.
Well, I like the way they did it, where they rescued Hallelujah with the GN particles, and he sort of, revives at the end there from the brain damage.
I guess I kind of was under the impression that he died at the end of the first season, which is why I didn't really like it when they brought him back.
Yeah. Well, it was like he got that bad blow to the head, so I guess it screwed up something in his brain. But like the whole quantum brain waves and GN particles and stuff kind of like had a big effect on your brain and connections and stuff.
Well, I think they showed that obviously the concentrated GN particles were healing factor. It even did it for Louisa.
Yeah, because she had been screwed up by the drugs Ribbons was giving her, and I think she still had an injury from something, and it's just like, boop, I'm fine now.
From the radioactive off spill from the thrown dry or something.
Yeah, those really bad GN particles.
Unfiltered GN particles, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fake drives had something screwed up in them.
Yeah, see, at least the Tau drives didn't have that effect, just the fake drives. But
Yeah.
the
Well, the Tau drives were the fake ones. They just
Yeah, the tower drives were
they
the fake
improved
drives.
them.
yeah, they're improved. They no longer have the negative side effects.
Yeah.
But no, I like Hallelujah too. I even said it when I was talking in the one of the reviews of his suits. I always thought he was a really unique character amongst unique characters in Double O.
The Double O cast in general was really good.
Yeah, I really loved all that, and the whole struggling with his inner demon, literally, to his own slight redemption arc when he blows up the super soldier factory, more or less. We're just gonna discount the fact that it was mass murder of children.
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
Let's ignore that part and just say, okay,
Just,
well, he leaves it
let's
up.
put that
well-
minor issue aside.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd say to be fair, like once he got there, he didn't want to do it, and then Hallelujah kept, screaming, "Do it, do it, do it!" And he finally was like, I will take control and I will do it." And he's like, "No, don't do it." So,
Yeah.
you know,
So he pulled the
it
trigger.
was the kind of
for him.
thing where, like, if he didn't do it, it was going to be done anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, that's what Hallelujah was for. But I love the fact that in battling with Mari, once they figured out that she was interrupting his quantum brainwaves, Hallelujah took over and it had no effect on him. So I thought that was great when he suddenly changed his ways battling and piloting mid massive battle with everybody, and everyone's confused and he's no longer blocked.
Yeah, nobody could handle him when Hallelujah was taking over.
Yeah, it was two random maneuvers.
Yeah.
Saying he's going one way and then he goes another.
And I mean, he was basically like a new type in that form as well. Like he basically knew what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Like, I think he could literally read what they were going to do next.
Yeah, something about the quantum brainwaves
Yeah.
It could definitely affect that. But his whole backstory with being trapped on I don't know, was it a ship with the other super
It was a
soldiers?
space
They
colony,
were
I think.
escaping.
Yeah,
No,
the
they were
escape pod.
escaping on like a
Oh
shuttle
yeah,
or
the little
something.
escape shuttle thing. Yeah, that.
And he basically had to kill them all to survive. And that's Hallelujah had to do that for him, just like you were talking about before. That was his whole struggle.
Yeah. Well, I do remember something. I was kind of reading up on him the other day when I was like, let me kind of brush up on this before I mention it. And I did like one thing it mentioned where, in the second season, he was trying to get Marie to not fight, and she was, getting all pissed off. And there was like he remembered something Hallelujah said at one point. He said, you think that you're being so high and mighty when you refuse to battle, when you go out there and you try not to kill people, but you're just forcing your ideals on these other people. Like they want to be out here and they want to fight a war, and you're trying to berate everyone and act holier than thou. And that kind of let him be like, okay, fine, I'll let Soma or Marie, whichever name she wants to go by, I'll let her pilot because she wants to. I'll stop screaming at her to never do it again and all that.
Yeah,
So like even though Hallelujah was like a terrible survival thing, like he also kind of, I guess in a sense, sort of improved Hallelujah.
Yeah, that's why whenever they came together, it made sense for them because they were the two different sides of his brain, the two different ways of processing things. You always had Hallelujah in the background making different sense of things, and then he would come forward and be the Jiminy Cricket almost, the evil Jiminy.
A really
Cricket.
messed up Jiminy Cricket.
Well, half the time he had his good points. But what was it? Whenever he got reawakened right near the end and with the concentrated particles, and he said, "I'll take care of the enemies. You focus on looking for Mari."
Yeah.
So literally, brain processes at the same time.
Yeah.
So one head is looking at the sensors, the other one is actually shooting people. So, what do you do? So yeah, he was a great character.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got second?
Well, very similar vein. This one will come as a surprise to literally nobody, but Lock-On Stratos.
Dang it, you beat me
because he's
to it.
awesome.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to steal it from him. I do like Lock-On, but I'm like, I know he likes him a lot more.
Well, hold on though. Lyle or Neil?
Yes. Because the transition between them I really like, because when they introduced like the concept of him having a younger brother who's gonna be replacing him, I was like, oh, they're gonna go the route where he's gonna be all mopey and sad because he's gonna be like, oh, how am I gonna live up to my brother's legacy? And he's gonna be that anime character cliche kind of, and then he wasn't, and I was like, okay, this guy's cool now.
Yeah,
I was perfectly fine with that transition.
Exactly.
Yeah. If anything, he was kind of annoyed that people were comparing him to his brother. So.
Yeah, we even had that one thing where he's like, hey, you had feelings for my brother and that's upsetting you, right? And she's like, yeah. He's like, oh, do you want to go to a room? She's, oh, you jerk. He's like, okay, well, I fixed that now.
That was great. I love that moment. He was so matter of fact about it. Really put her in her place, and she got it. She's like, okay, I do need to let it go. It's like, because I can't do anything with those feelings, even though I have a person right here who is more or less the person I loved. I'm not going to actually do that because it's not right.
My only thing I didn't like about his brother is I wish he looked like a little bit different from him.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Or if at least he had, like, I don't know, like shorter hair or something, like just something to
Yeah,
differentiate
That's
them.
what I was thinking. Give him
Yeah,
short hair.
shorter hair and a narrower face, I believe, was the only real difference. Otherwise, they were virtually identical. And I think the
Yeah.
older one was taller because anime.
Right.
I felt it kind of like cheapened, Lock-On's death originally a little bit too.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
not-
I think what really cheapened it was the fact that Ali Al-Sanchez lived.
Yes, that
Well-
was kind of.
well, that's the trope of it, though, because the little brother has to get revenge for the older brother, or
Yeah,
the dad,
absolutely.
or whatever. It's just, he was great in his first introductory episode when he's getting to meet the rest of Celestial Being, and everybody's shocked. And
Stop
he's
it.
like,
Yeah.
do I really look that much like him?
Hey, he looks
Yeah.
exactly like him.
I don't look that much like him. What are you saying?
I know, like,
Yeah.
how could he
Go ahead.
not realize that he looks that similar to him? Like, had he not seen him in like 10 years? Well, maybe he hadn't seen
It
him
had
for
been
a
a
while,
while.
but yeah.
Yeah.
They could have looked
But,
different when they were younger and just happened to look exactly the same as they got older.
Well, he had been with Celestial Being prior to Setsuna, and Setsuna had been there for what, 5-6 years,
Yeah,
something like that. So he had been in Celestial Being for a while.
right.
So yeah, I think that. But what I loved about the older Lock-On was how he was like kind of the spiritual core almost of the first set of Meisters.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really liked him. He was sort of the kind of base hook. 'Cause
Well,
I don't know, but I've always found main Gundam pilots to be monumentally boring as characters, or
Amuro.
just unlikable, just in
Amuro.
general.
But Setsuna was a Gundam.
Setsuna was Gundam.
I hated that line.
We'll gloss over Setsuna for a while here.
I always kind of figured like it was something that just kind of weirdly translated to English, though I guess at least later on I was happy that he basically said, like, no, when I say Gundam, I'm not talking about the machine. I refer to the, the concept of ending all this garbage.
Yeah, because the Gundams are the tool to get there. He's acknowledging that he is also a tool for the plan, and that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's
But when
what
But when he just says it without explanation, it sounds hilarious and ridiculous. And part of me wonders if part of it just does not translate as well to English, maybe.
No, I think it was very literal. I am
Yeah.
Gundam.
From what
will
I've
become
seen, it is
Gundam.
very quite literally that way to translate. There is, to my knowledge, no other way to translate that.
Yeah, I think
No, I mean, but like, sometimes in other languages that they'll like things don't translate quite in the same like meaning. Like part of me like wonders and wishes and hopes that, there's just something lost that we just don't have the ability to do that like nuance in like, one or two words.
yeah, there's not a colloquialism for it to fill in. Like, yeah, we get the literal "I am Gundam" or "I will become Gundam," whatever. But like, he's not. You're hoping that something was lost in the translation. There's a tiny meaning there that
Yeah.
we're missing. But I'm sure it sounded absurd in the dub. But I'm being a purist on Double O at least. I'm not.
I'm just happy that Double O had a really good dub.
It did.
I've never really watched it. I've seen a couple on Toonami, and I just went, okay, I can't watch this. It's not Naruto bad, but it's bad enough for me. Just because I'm only used to the one thing, it's hard for me to go the other way.
Yeah, it is hard if you watch everything in Japanese and switch to English.
Gundam
Yeah.
00 is the anime that I've switched back and forth between the dub and sub the most times on, because I was watching it through Netflix's DVD thing, dubbed, and then every once in a while Gundam Info would put it up subbed, and I'd watch it there, and then I'd switch back and forth between them since Netflix didn't have all the discs for it. So I kind of watched like every 5 or 6 episodes, I'd switch between sub and dub. And having heard both, I think the dub was actually pretty fantastic.
Nice.
I guess back to Lock-On, you mentioned him being kind of like their spiritual leader. I did like that he was this like super big caring guy. Like he wasn't there just to get it done, but he like actually cared about all of them
Oh,
and like
yeah, absolutely.
and their state of
You know-
being and everything, and just all
you know
that.
What it was? You know what it is though? Thinking about it, because you didn't get it revealed until the second season. It was the big brother in him.
Yeah.
He was being a big brother to everyone except for Felta. But
Well, like even to the point that he was, his compassion, I guess, was so strong that it affected Tieria, who was just trying to, figure out regular people, and it changed him like completely just seeing, that.
yeah,
Mm.
Tieria brought the tears over him when he was essentially a robot prior to that. But
Yeah.
him being able to get through to somebody who had no quote unquote soul,
Yeah.
and give him real emotions and feelings
Yeah,
towards others.
and it was lasting emotions too, because several years later, Ribbons is like, what, that stupid human, made you change, and he got like really ticked off about it, and it's like
Yeah.
this is many years after his death.
Are you
Right.
talking about whenever Tieria was dressed up as a chick in the
Somewhere,
party?
No, this is when
somewhere along those.
it was there, or at the very end when they were like fighting, when he was fighting Ribbons like the last time when he died or something.
No, I think it was when he encountered him at that party. I can't remember, but no, because they didn't really converse that much before he died. Whenever they were fighting in Veda, they had a brief conversation, but it wasn't about that.
I seem to remember there being like a big dialogue between them before that fight, though. But
was
yeah,
it
they did talk some.
But was it with him or was it with Regina Regetta?
I don't remember.
Speaking or Ribbons talking through her, it may have been.
It might have
Yeah,
been
it's like,
Ribbons
we
through
didn't-
her,
we
because she was never really very attacking towards him.
No, but I think it might have had something to it because they were their each other's doppelganger
Right,
or
yeah.
other half or whatever, which they never even went into. We're not going to go into the weird depths of the Innovatos, based on human anatomy to stir that stuff. But Tieria was affected that well by Lock-On, somebody he didn't think he could even care about, just accept it as a teammate. That just speaks to what the original Lock-On could do, to the fact that he could even bond with the second Lock-On.
Right.
And I remember when we were talking in the chat, just going slightly different tangent, the different skill levels between the two Lock-Ons as Gundam pilots. Because we were talking about the evolution of the suit and the weaponry, how the original Lock-On had Dynamis and was pure sniping. He could do close range, but sniping was his thing. And then
That's why he
just
was
keep
awesome.
getting further.
Like that one time when he pulled out his GM beam saber, and he's like, I hate you. You made me do this.
Exactly. And then just the way the original Lock-On died, that hit you in the feels.
That was like the most epic death of anything ever.
Yes.
A person standing on a piece of debris, plugged in with his little sniper scope to a giant beam cannon and aiming at the enemy.
After his Gundam was destroyed, and then he went out with his Gundam in the big GN Arms thing. That got destroyed. Then his Gundam got destroyed. And then after that, he still pulls the control system out of the Gundam and plugs it in the cannon and just fires that one final shot.
Yeah.
And that was just amazing.
But he went into battle knowing he didn't have time to regenerate his eye. So he went into battle with the wrong eye.
Yeah.
Did what he could. I mean, let's be honest here, he was a badass.
Yes.
I know, I would say I love the character. I was sad to see him die, but I was legitimately okay with his death just because of how awesome it was. He went out well.
It wasn't cheap.
It didn't feel like a cheap death, exactly.
Yeah. There's too many other good characters like Moo's fake death. That was cheap. Even though it was good, it was cheap in comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was about Moo's death, but it was always this could have easily been done without him having to sacrifice himself. Nobody would have died.
Yeah, but he did get to, use his tagline, I'm the man who makes the impossible possible. Of course, he completely deflects what was that weapon called? The right to the face, and manages to completely stop it inches away from the bridge of the Archangel. So we'll give him credit where credit's due. Dan, do you got any other favorite pilots from other series?
From 0083, Ana Velgato.
It's been so long since I watched 83, I don't even remember him by now.
I'm not even up on my UC.
I've seen one whole episode of 0083, so.
Well, Dan's alone on that conversation. Please expand on it.
Known as the Nightmare of Solomon from the 1 Year War, and a darn good ace pilot, but not a new type. He's actually an old type. So he's along the lines of Rambarel. He's old school, just run rings around you and wreck you without having to use any kind of Psychomu system or anything like that. And he steals a pretty evil looking Gundam, which is the only one I've ever known to actually fire a nuke.
Didn't they have those nuclear packs in the Cosmic Era, though?
They had nuclear missiles, but
those things.
Yeah, they had missiles in the Cosmic Era, but then, of course, the nuclear-powered Gundams were a new thing for the second season, or the end of the first season and into the second season.
Didn't in Char's counterattack they had some mobile suits that literally just went out to fire nukes as well?
No, that was just nuke missiles that they had that they launched from the
Okay,
ships.
for some reason I was thinking they had missiles from the ships and also some that fired from the mobile suits.
Like they
Yeah.
had two in each arm, like they did in Cosmic Era.
Well, Turner Gundam kept a nuke in its chest for a long time. I don't know what to do with this. Let's just put it in here.
That'll be
Hey,
useful later.
Hey Dan,
Hmm.
what was the Gundam that he stole?
The Salus,
Right.
the ugly one.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
thought you were
alright.
talking about, but I just had to confirm. Once again,
GPO2.
yeah, I thought it was GPO too, but remember, UC noob.
No worries.
I'm Neo Gundam. It's like I know from wing up. I'm
We
pretty
have a
good.
Neo Gundam.
Have you seen X?
No, I've never seen X. I know of X. I've never seen
Shame on
any
you.
of
Watch X.
this already, man. Like here, I'm just gonna start at the original, work my way up, since apparently they're all in the same universe now.
Yes,
Not quite all of
except
them,
for
but-
Double O Age, Build Fighters, and
We're not gonna
Turnet
go into
and
that
IBO.
argument again. Oh god, it's fun. Now I'm sitting here. I'm looking at my stack of Gunpla, and I'm trying to think of other really good pilots that I liked from different series. Osamu Asano from Age, from the second series of Age. I actually like
you said the second one?
Sun, yeah, the first Sun, yeah,
The
The one
H2
who-
pilot.
the H2 pilot. I liked him. Like his dad got in season, except for his voice actor, which is one of my favorite voice actors. I just can't think of his name, but he also does Kakashi from Naruto Shippuden, when he was the commander at that point. But anyway, his son basically living in the shadow of everything that his son or his dad did, and basically turning out that he can't be an X rounder, quote unquote new type. He decides that he's going to be the best pilot he could possibly be, and the fact that he grows up.
The terrible thing of calling himself a super pilot even when he's like 30 years old.
Exactly, but that's hilarious. Come on. I'm still talking teenage, though. I'm not going into age 3 territory just yet. But the fact that he did become such a great pilot, even given one of the worst Gundams out of Age, Age 2, says something. And he got to grow up basically being trained by the other ace pilot of the system, Wolf Iniakal, who basically had to live up to not being a Gundam pilot. So he had to become the best he could possibly be with the special forces, to the point that he drove Osamu to being the next big special forces pilot. Of course, favorite version of the worst Gundam from that series, the H2 special forces white version, which I do have the MG sitting back here waiting on me to build.
That's cool.
Yeah, I paid a buttload of money for that after just getting rid of my original H2, which was the most shameful build I've ever done. But we won't go into that today. We'll talk about bad builds on another.
Oh, that would actually be a good subject. Because there's one all three of us would definitely want to talk about. So
Not just bad builds, but like the worst builds we've done. Like not just how bad the actual kit is, but how bad it was when we were finished.
mine would fall into both of those categories.
So write it down so we remember this later. Not like it's going to be on the internet forever to listen to.
Yeah.
And then we talk about Osamu whenever he becomes an adult. He becomes his own space pirate corps. Basically taking on a mission that nobody else knew about, trying to find this lost information. He had to go find the MacGuffin before anyone else, and then keeping the peace in that one zone between everybody. So he took things onto himself that was better, even abandoning his own child like a jerk. But leaving his child to become the next Kira Yamato.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, no, I've always loved Osamu, and dude, that hair as the space pirate captain, that's epic. That's one of the best one-eye covering hair systems anybody's ever had, I think.
He just comes, I want to be a handsome man.
Exactly. I am the super pilot. This is what I can do.
Yes, when he was still saying that at like the age of 30, it's like, oh my god.
Hey, he got them out of the battlefield though when they couldn't near the end.
Yeah.
And I'll get us out of here. So even then, he did what he could and was awesome. So he in some ways he was better than his dad, and in every way better than his son. So I'd say he's at least one of the better characters from that series. Age is littered with a lot of bad characters.
Yep.
So it's good that there's at least one or two that stand out. I would have said Wolfie Nyako, but he didn't get enough screen time.
I'll say it's funny that you pick a Sumu from Age because I was going to say my next one would be a small surprise, but I do have to explain why because I don't like all of this person. I kind of like the concept of it, but mine was going to basically be Flit, and not season one or storyline one, whatever Flit, where he's a little kid and hey, look, I'm a master pilot, the moment I jump in and stuff, because like that's the thing I always kind of hated with Gundam, where it so often had like, hey, here's a 15-year-old pilot and he's better than guys that have been piloting for 30 years and have all this experience. But specifically, like what I liked about Flit was, when he, became a good X-rounder, but became so experienced, like he was an ace pilot as an old man, or I mean, as like a regular adult, and he's an old man. And he's still an incredible pilot. He's still like really good at strategy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love the concept of the veteran who's actually skilled, because so often in Gundam, it's always the 15-year-old who is skilled, who's jumping around all the veterans, or even like here's a 15-year-old beating someone who's like 20. That has a few years of experience versus a few days.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that was one thing I always kind of really, regretted a little bit, that it's always like the master, 15, 14, 13-year-old pilots and stuff at times. But then the other thing I liked was, again, like I mentioned with Hallelujah, liking sometimes people with like heavy character flaws. I really liked the fact that Flit became so overcome with like hatred and anger. The other problem with a lot of Gundam characters is they always go into this like, oh, no one should ever die. We're in a war. Let's not kill anyone thing. And he had no qualms with people dying. He had no qualms about the enemy dying, no matter, or people who were traitors dying. He realized he was in a war and that people died in war and you had to kill in war. So he never had an issue with this. And then, of course, he was like horribly broken and, consumed with his hatred and stuff and had to eventually overcome that. But yes, as a bitter old man.
Hey, but I do like all that aspect and the fact that he kept up everything. I mean, he came up with the Deus Ex Machina period of that series. So I guess that's why he gets that extra skill as being a young kid, and then of course everything else gets, I don't want to say handed to him because he does work for everything. But once he created the age system, he didn't have to do much else.
Yeah. Well, he didn't actually even create the age system. Like, wasn't that in the blueprints, and he basically just built those?
He made it happen.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't remember him actually making that, but
yeah, he didn't design it, but he made it happen. He made the Gundam happen. He made the age system happen, and of course, he was the person who understood it probably more than anyone else other than that one mechanic.
And he did have a small learning phase. I mean, like originally, like that girl that was an X-rounder was able to touch him and give him X-rounder powers and stuff. But like he had to go fight like Wolfie Nyako in a practice fight, and like it was literally the only reason he wasn't destroyed was the fact that the Gundam was better than what Wolf had by so much.
Yeah,
but then after that, when Wolf just said screw it, I'm not going to pilot a Gundam, he still like kind of constantly gave him tips and stuff and watched out for him. So yeah, he didn't start off as amazing, but he still did start off as like really, really good, and also as a like, oh, no one should fight, no one should kill, oh, don't be angry at each other, type of character. But then he grew out of that.
Yeah, at least he tried to instill something in his grandson. His grandson just didn't listen. So no, I mean I totally agree with you that the H2 version of Flit was definitely the best. But Old Man Flit was he was fun in his own right in the beginning, before he really went hate-filled old man.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he's first trying to get Kyo into the H3, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
that was like, it did make him a real character though, because he had lived his life consumed by like, anger, hatred, and rage. So I mean, that was at least realistic about it.
Yeah, even to the point of retiring from the armed forces that he was a major part of. So, and still continuing to develop his tools for hatred, because he knew eventually he'd need to throw his grandson in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I thought that was Flit was a good character, but you're right. The young version was probably not the best version. The
young version was just kind of typical Gundam character, mostly.
Yeah, just with some Pokemon shininess to it.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny since Age was made a bit more like, for kids and stuff. But then it's like, the character that started out as the main character, what's the lesson he's eventually teaching children? Always hate people who do wrong to you, never forgive them, and kill them all the time.
That is hilarious, yeah. See, that's why I think like Age is going to end up being like the turn A of like all the newest Gundams. Like they're going to find a way because they mentioned at the beginning that mobile suits and Gundams and everything existed in the past, and that's how his
No,
family.
that was literally just plain in Turner. Like Turner, like literally showed you Gundam Wing footage.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for like an expounded version of Gundam Age where they do that. They're just waiting to get far enough into other series that they can manage that.
I imagine Tomino probably doesn't like Age.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we'll talk about Age on another cast as to why it had the problems it did.
I haven't actually even seen Age. I don't think Dan has
What?
either.
Dan
Okay, so now
watched,
I
I
can
think,
tell
10
you.
minutes of it and quit.
No, that's
Yeah.
Recco. I gave
Yeah,
I
Age.
thought
G-Reco
Recco was
wasn't-
3 minutes.
No, I gave
Okay.
Age 6 episodes.
No, he got farther in Age than I got in G-Reco.
I got bored of Age after like 2 episodes. Didn't like the
that's-
art style. The story didn't really interest me.
To be honest, I watched most of Age at like 2x or 2.5x speed, and then I would slow it down for battles to be like, okay, well, let's at least watch the battle.
Yeah,
That's actually a really good way to do it, to be honest.
that's more or less what I did with Seed, really, and it was still miserable.
Yeah, well, Seed had some really, really bad stuff in it. That's so I was glad when they did the movie version and they cut out a lot of stuff, but then they added a ton of crap that was
Yeah.
totally unnecessary. How about we move on to the more modern Gundam and talk about our favorite IBO
Which I
characters?
think second probably has
I would-
one more.
Yes, I do actually, and that does actually line up pretty well with who I was going to mention was
Oh.
Cordelia Ina Bernstein from Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans,
Yeah,
because she starts out as that character archetype, the Relina or Marina or whatever of the show, and then ends up actually developing as a character instead of just being the same idiotic, naive princess throughout the entire show, and actually turns into like a fully competent leader by the second season.
Yeah.
well, mostly competent leader.
Mostly competent, yeah.
Like got to a position of power in a good way and actually gained some understanding along the way, but still.
Exactly.
But well, actually, Marina did, technically speaking, she just couldn't do much in her position. But she did grow and change. She wasn't just the like the sexy lamp that everyone had to rescue.
I'm more bothered with her just constantly like, oh, I never liked the one that like refuses to acknowledge actual enemies as enemies, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
We
Relina
don't-
sort of, where it's like,
We've got 50 people trying to kill us. No, children, let's sing a song instead.
Hey, it worked to
Exactly.
unite the world. We'll give that credit. It at least helped unite the world. But she wasn't as useless as Relina, just constantly making the same argument over and over.
That's actually
Yeah.
I was it looks like Xeonic Scanlations finally got some more stuff done for the God, what is it called? The Endless Waltz Glory of Losers series.
oh, hey,
And,
finally.
Like I'm reading through the scene where she's talking with Dorothy and there's like, hey, there's a Mobile Suit Army coming for your location. She's like, oh, we can talk to them, and then they won't do anything because we're just going to talk. And Dorothy's like, hey, you can't talk to people who don't give you a chance to talk. No, we don't believe that. In the Saint Kingdom, you can talk, and everyone will talk, and that is how peace will be brought around, by never fighting and always talking. And she's like, nope, if they kill you before you talk, you can't do anything. Nope, we believe in talking. You can keep having this discussion with me, though, because we're here to talk.
I almost want her to
That
just like
hurts.
die like right after that. Like just walk in front of a tank and just try to start a conversation with it and just get mowed over or something.
Oh my
God,
god.
Relina was such an awful character.
Yeah. I really wanted to see Hero actually pull the trigger.
Yeah.
It's like, just do it. Just do it. Come on. The series will be better, and we won't need the movie. Come on. She had no purpose in the movie other than to be kidnapped, and that was even fairly pointless.
Mm.
It's like, realistically,
No, guys, be peaceful.
no, you shouldn't do this. And anyways, we'll have a bad characters, worse characters out of Gundam, and we'll just load it with Mary Sue's.
Relina.
Relina, Kira, and Kyo. Let's just go there.
Oh gosh, Kyo was like so awful by the ending. I never liked him, but then by the ending, it's like, no, we didn't need this character.
It just wasn't necessary ever again.
Uh,
What about other IBO characters? I know Dan was a big fan of Kudelia as well.
Yeah, I really like I like Naze.
I
Oh,
did
yeah.
too, actually. He was pretty cool. as kind of a sort of mentor character for Orga.
Yeah.
Orga as well, actually, was a pretty good character.
I think IBO in general is loaded with good characters.
Yeah, honestly, like Mikazuki is really not that interesting, at least to me, but I kind of got the impression from IBO that it was a Gundam series where the Gundam pilot wasn't actually the main character. And like it felt like it focused more around Orga and how he kind of kept Tekkanon together more than focused around Mika as a character. Like he kind of felt more like a side character to me.
Yeah, I mean that just seems to be like Mika's thing. Like he's kind of more of a reactionary character than anything else, and
yeah,
he doesn't care what it takes to get things done, but he'll just mainly react. Like he's like, well, I'm here for you. So he's the main character, but he's more of like a supporting character for everyone else instead.
He's just a flat out sociopath.
Yeah, he's the main pilot, but he's not the main character. The main character is Tekkanon. And, it's just everybody in that is what you're supposed to be worried about. And Mikazuki is the instrument of Tekkanon happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he always tells Orga, whatever you need me to do, I will do.
He's like, Mika, I'm going to have to ask you to do something. Let me tell you. No, don't tell me what it is. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, I don't need the details. He's not a details man. But then they basically tell him, don't break the Barbatos. We just got it back.
and then he immediately breaks it.
Overheats it instantly. Well, yeah, they did just drop it pretty much from orbit. It would make sense. It's a little warm.
Hey guys, it's not moving. I don't know what's going on.
That was hilarious. His reaction to that was, "It's not moving. Y'all are gonna have to help me." Conveniently after the battle ended. If that had happened to first strike, it'd have been over really quick.
Yeah,
I do like though. Speaking about my whole thing is saying he was a sociopath, and Dan mentioning that, like just seeing that they still did kind of keep that as well, because we had the whole thing where Hush got annoyed at Atra and he was going to slap her, and Mika just grabs his hand, is like on the verge of like breaking his wrist. He's like, "What was his hand about to do?" And she's like, "No, Mika, it's fine." He's like, "Oh, okay," and lets it go.
Best moment of the season so far. Period. Just what was this hand doing? Or it's like, let him go or you're gonna break his arm. Oh, okay. It's just so matter of factly, and Hush is pulling, and then he's on the ground, like, let go. Oh my god, let go. And he's like, and he's just not even moving. He's just like death grip.
I'll give Akihiro the best line of season 1 though.
Oh yeah.
When you've got all the Grays Ritters there and Carta's giving her monologue speech, and then Akihiro just shoots the one on the far left, and he's like, I could do that, right? Yes, Akihiro, you could.
You need to insert my memes from that moment in this. Insert the memes
here.
Yeah. I'm sorry, were you talking? And then the other one where it's the whole line of the Grays Ritters lined up there, and they're lined to whatever in fortuitousness. And then the other one gets shot in the head, and I said that moment when Jerry was caught not paying attention. Boom! Blows his helmet off. You didn't need that, right? I can shoot now, right? Is that okay? But
War is not a time for posing. This isn't JoJo.
That was ridiculous. I mean, I loved Carta's little core of guys there.
Oh yeah, definitely. They were awesome.
Outer Earth Orbit Defense, whatever their ridiculous acronym
for their faction was.
But actually, I don't want to say Carta was a good character. I just liked her in the series. Like, she was ridiculous. They were the Ginyu Force, let's be honest. But they were probably great at what they did until they encountered these people. Ginyu Force was great until Goku came along. So that's what it took. And basically they were expecting them to fight with some kind of honor, some kind of skills in war, and then
they got Mikazuki.
And they just come in and completely wreck shop. Like, you hit me while I was monologuing. You can't do that. It's just like, come on, Carta, realize what's happening in front of you and stop being a moron.
Yep.
Also, insert the Galileo one. When you when you rescue a girl and all she can do is talk about another guy. Make sure you insert that meme right there too.
Yes, he totally won't replace it with another bear guy picture.
Exactly.
Actually, it's funny because I remember doing that. I was like, bear guys, like, no wait, what, those even more petite ones, yeah.
Yeah, it was petite ones.
Oh man, I think out of IBO, like you said, Naze is a great older brother character, and of course,
older brother
so-
character to the older brother character, which I thought made it a little more interesting too.
Yeah, so he's like, and I love the fact that Orga does treat him as a bigger brother. Calls him Aniki and all that, and the fact that he calls him Kyodai. It's just there's a great relationship between Naze and Orga. And, the fact that they're just helping them in general. The way they met and everything like that. The fact that he's utterly enjoying that first battle against Tekidon and the craziness that Orga's pulling off. Naze's just thrilled that he's fighting somebody like this. That's how he gains his respect.
Yeah.
And then he finds out the guy he's supporting such a piece of crap. He's just like, what?
Yeah. It's just, Naze is a great character. And I'm worried that there's going to be a lot of internal turmoil this season between Teiwaz and Tekidon, but right now they're dealing with their other stuff. No spoilers. But I want to, they're not going to get a lot of Naze, I don't think, until later on. And he's going to have to choose sides, whether he wants to be with Tekidon or he wants to be with the Teiwaz side. I think that's going to come up later.
There is that other guy who calls the old man. He's the guy with the yellow coat.
The anime character.
I don't like him. Yeah, the anime character. There you go. Yeah, that guy. I don't even care what his name is. He's just the douche.
I've stopped keeping track of names in IBO at this point. There's just too many of them.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I said on the very first episode.
I just go by distinctive aesthetic features at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in that first episode. I was like, oh my god, they've already introduced like 8 new people in this like one short episode.
Yeah.
What's like this current episode when they're talking about Chad? I'm like, who's Chad? And we're like, oh, that guy. They never even gave us his name in the first season, but he was there.
Like, yeah, I recognized him, and that was about it. It's like, oh, that guy. Huh.
And they actually, let's just talk about the fact that his name is Chad Chadden.
Yes.
We'll leave it at that.
That's like with Rene Rogetta.
Well, even like when that guy was like, oh, Chad to him, and he gave like a weird reaction. I was like, I don't know if this is him being weirded out because he's not used to being given respect, or if maybe is this guy just making up his last name? And
yeah.
No, I think the reaction there, if they're going to talk about it, it was the fact that somebody so much higher than him knew his name is what it was. You got to remember they're used to being treated like literal garbage. So the fact that somebody would show him the respect to call him by his full name blew him away. No pun intended for the episode.
Well, it was just hard to deal with though, with that name being so ridiculous.
It took me out of the moment. It really did, and then they suck you back in. But we'll do episode spoilers another day. But
yeah,
the next one I kind of want to talk about IBO up till now. I think there's another. I think all of the Teiwaz, or I'm sorry, all of the Turbine pilots are all great characters in their own right.
Except for Ozzy was just kind of there.
Ozzy's just there, but I love that she's so emo without being emo at the same time. She's just great. Like it
feels like she's there just so they could sell a blue Hyakurin model.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, it's the way I kind of feel about her.
Her character is mostly not needed except to be like that older sister that can't be bothered. Like that's why I do like her. She just gets annoyed. She's a great pilot, but then you've got Laughter to, well, basically be everything that she is.
Like I think you see more of the blue Hyakurin like in the training bay or whatever than you do in actual combat.
Yeah. Well, they get the Amida Custom out there, even though she's never in it. So, no, she was when they first met, though. She was.
Yeah, she was.
But that's the only time she's piloted. After that, it was only Laughter driving it. So, which I just think they're all great characters, and I love the fact that they're only giving us those 3 now. We don't have to bother with all the other ones.
Yeah. There's Mechanic.
We don't have to deal with the harem side.
Right.
But yeah, what is the mechanic's name? I don't even remember it.
I don't know either. She's just a mechanic.
Yeah, she's Ozzy, Laughter, Amida. She's the other one with the weird hair.
Yeah, the one with the drill hair.
Yeah, the drill hair. Yeah. The female. I just love everything about IBO is great. The fact they have kids playing all of the adult roles. So instead of normal Gundam trope of one kid amongst a bunch of adults doing things, they're all kids now with some smattering of adults.
But to be fair, in like the case of this, they've all been forced to be soldiers or die. So at least in that case, they have had it kind of forced into them. And many of them have just died, and we just never saw them.
Yeah.
Tons of nameless soldiers, red shirts. But it's almost like what would happen if Aliel Sachs really got to do what he wanted to do and just complete his child soldier program.
Yeah.
you know. But and of course, the second season it goes out of control because everybody suddenly realizes that the human debris has so much more value. So they start kidnapping more kids to
Yeah,
be
and
child
everyone does
soldiers.
it then. All the
It's just
factions.
yeah, it's like good job, Kudelia. That's just what you did.
Yes.
All the bad side effects of everything good that happened in the first season. So it was like, let's just go ahead and retcon everything and make it all bad now. And Tekkenon's just trying at that point. But I think Mikazuki could be one of the better characters, but he's not a character. Like you said, there's nothing to him. He's just
Yeah.
literally a blunt instrument of destruction. Point me at the thing you want dead.
He's almost more just a soul for the Gundam than actually a character. Like
Exactly.
they probably could have replaced him with like a sentient mecha.
I do at least like with Mika though that he, we've had characters like him before, but it's just always been like, oh, this is the perfect soldier who's a soldier man, soldier, like mission complete and whatnot, like hero. But Mika,
Yeah.
like he does actually seem like something's just wrong with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hollow
Which I mean,
person.
to be fair, he did have a horrible upbringing and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
more amazing that Orga is not also like horribly broken and stuff.
I was about to say, yeah, the fact that Orga is the other half of Mikazuki's personality.
Mm.
So Mikazuki does the thing Orga can't do physically, but Orga is the soul part of Mikazuki. Even though he has the thought process of this means something and I should protect it, So that's what Orga needs to be there for. Mikazuki would probably just be a mindless killing machine.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, but I love the character development this season where Mikazuki plants things to try to grow something new on Mars. I
Yeah,
think
that's like a really oddly human thing for him to do.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. It's like the fact that he's now having a thought process, and of course, it's probably very symbolic of the new growth of Mars with everything Kudelia did. He's trying to get things to grow on Mars that never did before. So their independence and everything like that, also being
Yep.
the deeper.
I think it
deeper
also
thought.
came from him growing up with food being such a struggle and everything, and he just doesn't want that to remain, because like remember that's even how he became Acha's friend. She was starving and he was you can't have my food, and then he's like, oh, you're starving, so hey, let me just get you food as well.
Yeah, I think that obviously his kid Mikazuki had a little bit more going on, so something happened to flip that switch to where he was more robotic.
Mm.
And it might be that one incident that we never get to see. We just see the aftermath where Orga's got the bloody arm and Mikazuki's holding the gun.
I'm still waiting for the flashback that like finishes that scene.
I kind of like that we don't have it, but I want to know what it was because that was the bonding moment for those two.
Yeah, I really hope they bring that back up later on.
They left it hanging. They really should. One thing I do love, because they have like all the main characters in the new outro, but as kids.
Uh-huh.
And they have this whole story built into the new outro of this is how they met, these are conversations they're having, and you got Kudelia sort of dancing around them as the little rich girl amongst all the poor kids. But I like how they're having conversations in it that you can't hear and you can't read. But it's almost like this backstory that we never got to see of how they all grew up.
Yeah.
And that would actually be Gundam babies. So that
Gundam babies.
Thank you for doing that. Oh geez.
So is Dan still awake?
Barely, I think.
Yeah, barely.
Just wondering, 'cause it's like midnight here, so.
I like for a brief moment the reaction I heard from Dan Sam. We're like,
Yeah, when I talked to him directly, he's like, I was seeing the eyes on his Gundam fading there.
Yeah.
So I actually did a little
He's
research.
going to the active mode.
Yeah. I did a little research and discovered that Ozzy from the Turbines, her voice actress is Reiji from first season of Build Fighters.
You know what? Yeah, now that you mentioned
like
it.
I could see that
before.
Well, Naze is.
mentioned it before.
Well, Naze is Fellini.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That actually is hilariously perfect.
And the fact that he looks like him.
Exactly.
I think they probably wanted Ozzy to have red hair originally, but they didn't really want to go there.
Yeah, I guess the white hair kind of works more for a character anyway, because she's kind of that's sort of in the anime sort of archetype world, that's usually used for the more kind of quiet, mysterious, reserved characters. So
yeah, that makes sense. And well, she is just emo and just meh.
Exactly.
She's the meh character. I mean, it's hard not to just sit here and go on and on about the IBO characters because they are all just that good. There's nobody
Yeah.
that's a bad character like they just except for people who are supposed to clearly be bad, terrible.
Right, but like bad as in poorly written.
Yeah, there's no dead, empty characters that are just there to fill a gap or a trope.
Randomly, this makes me think I want the new Beard Guy to just be called Beard Guy for the rest of the series.
Yeah, don't give
What,
him a
like
name.
Chocolate
Bearded
Man?
Yeah, chocolate. Why didn't Mikazuki refer to him that when they first walked in the room? He didn't call him Chocolate Man.
Because I don't think he really spoke any there. Or
No,
he just like he gave like one word, I think, and then that was pretty much it.
I thought it was funny that he even went with him. I guess Orga just brought it for protection.
Yeah,
But
I always kind of hated though. I really loved his like thing of just calling him the Chocolate Man or Chocolate,
yeah,
and then Galio was like, "Oh, you were the one that was with the Chocolate Man," and then I really kind of just hated the name he gave Galio, where he's like, "Oh, Gali." It's like, oh, that sounds really stupid. That doesn't sound like something Mika would say.
well, I think it's just because Mika is in some ways just a 5-year-old. He's not overly developed. Let's be honest here.
I don't know. He just doesn't seem like he would be one to give someone, the silly cutesy name like that, though.
No, you know what it is? It's everything about him. He does not waste time on things he doesn't think that are important. Atros said that when it comes to reading and learning books.
Well, he did kind of give an extra syllable onto his name there, though.
But he didn't bother to learn what his actual name was. It was easier for him just to give him a cast-off name. He's like, I'm not interested in what your actual name is. I'm probably going to kill you, so I'm just going to call you this, just in case you come back again.
Should just call him Chocolate Friend.
Chocolate. No, that goes into racist territory to call him the Chocolate Friend. We can't go there. And can we talk about the fact there's only like one black guy?
Let's say, to be fair, Japan is like really weirdly racist towards black people.
Okay, well,
it's weird to them.
Okay,
well, that's the one.
That's getting
We're not
dangerous.
going to go there. We're not going to go down that route, but yeah.
I think it's time to go ahead and call this one.
You just that tired, Dan? You going to bow out?
Yeah, I can't stay up anymore.
I'm almost awake.
Well, I've got no problem. I'm usually up till about 11:30 most nights, even though I have to get up at 5 every morning.
It's midnight for the rest of us. So.
Yeah, stupidly here my way.
Well, I'm in the middle of the country. You guys are elsewhere.
Right, we're in the other side.
Weirdos. Well, yeah, because you said let's start at 9, and it's only 8:00 for me. It's like I'm trying to cook dinner.
Sure, didn't even think about that.
Oh yeah, that didn't occur to me that could be an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, normally it wouldn't be a problem, but I got started on dinner way too late. This thrilling conversation we're having here at the end of the video, guys.
Yeah.
Let's talk about hot dogs that I was cooking.
Oh, but dinner is great.
Dinner is a good thing.
Says the man who never gets full on Thanksgiving.
Yes. Well, no, I will eat till I get full, and then I'll walk away about 15 minutes, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can go ahead and have some dessert and stuff.
That's kind of how I am, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of hard not to. Anybody else want to see an IBO Thanksgiving episode once they get to Earth?
With like food and stuff, yeah, sure.
And Mika would eat nothing but those little like Mars fruits or whatever.
Yeah.
Mars berries or whatever.
They're dates.
Kind of an American holiday, though. Like, I'm not sure they'd really do that.
I know, but it would be fun to do it because a lot of animes will
Considering the food emphasis they have on the show, yeah.
They do,
or at least more so than normal for Gundam,
I think it would be fun. Considering the direction things are going on Earth right now, once again, not going into spoilers, but yeah, they might have something to be thankful for by that time.
Yeah.
But who knows? Yeah, it's probably a good place to call it a night. I'm sure my girlfriend is in the other room waiting for me to eventually shut up and stop being nerdy.
You say that while she's catching up on all of Game of Thrones.
she's
I guess technically that's not really nerdy now. It's a big pop culture thing.
Yeah.
If she was reading the books, then.
Well, the definition of a nerd is someone who's just very knowledgeable in a certain topic. So.
Yeah, but we're talking about like Revenge of the Nerds, nerd, type of thing.
Yeah. Well, that my whole saying for everything is I may not be a nerd for everything, but everyone is a nerd for something. So
Pretty
it's
much.
like everyone can be a nerd in something. Even sports jocks are nerds. They're just people who play fantasy football are no different than
That's
people
what I was
who
about
play
to say.
D&D.
Yeah.
That's D&D for sports guys. Let's be honest.
Hmm.
So they just don't have dice.
Yeah, they use people.
Yeah, they use people and they go on their silly online websites. But now we're bashing on.
The most dangerous game of all, man.
Yeah, there we go. Actually, maybe we should have a fantasy IBO league. Start over.
Everybody just fights to get Mika.
Yeah, it was like, oh well, yeah. It's just not really, if there was more, actually, no, on Build Fighters would work.
Yeah.
Actually, a random thought I had today. I think I mentioned this earlier, but I really like Shino's voice actor.
I like Shino as a character, period.
He's
But
just like his voice actor
he's
fits
pretty
his
fun.
character perfectly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
well, okay, just real quick before we end, favorite character from Build Fighters or
Fellini.
Try? Fellini, okay.
Hands down, no contest, Fellini.
Agreed.
I don't really have one.
Well, we know Dan's.
Fellini.
Not what I was thinking.
There's a difference between character and waifu.
Okay, I'll give you that. I was thinking Kosaka Yuma, actually.
It was okay.
Yuma, huh?
Yeah, I just there's way more character development on him, kind of on the back half of Try,
Mhm.
and
I guess
actually really,
kind of.
I really dig. In the beginning he was just the ace builder and really nothing other than a foil for Sakai. But then once you get into his backstory with all that stuff and everything he had to develop when fighting, I dug his character, and of course the alternate side of that with now I'm going to draw a blank. In the final thoughts, of course.
The try on 3 guy.
No, not him.
No, the other guy. The
Otto
end
Saga.
pilot.
Yeah.
Otto
Is it-
Saga, yeah.
So his so just that whole thing. I liked his character development over time. Everybody else, they are what they are. I dug Yuma's development over the series, up until the movie, but we're not talking about that. Or OVA.
I was wanting to I was trying not to die laughing because I was thinking like I don't really have a favorite character in Build Fighters, and I had the thought of like I should just say the Imagine F91 as my favorite character.
Okay, that's actually pretty good though.
Well, actually, the Meijin Kawaguchi guy from the first season I liked. He was pretty cool.
Oh,
Or whatever his name.
Tatsuya
Yeah,
Yuki.
Yuki. He was
Yuki.
pretty cool.
He's still pretty cool. But yeah, is becoming Kawaguchi is really fun. But let's just be honest, Ramba Rao's the best.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
I really
He's
want
up
to see a pre-series of everything that got him to the way where everybody respects him now.
Yes.
That's what I want to see. I want to see Gundam Build
The Young
Fighter.
Adventures of Ramba Rao.
I want to see it like the little Rock Lee spinoff. I want to see that. So get on that, Bandai, who definitely is listening to our podcast.
Oh yes, they listen to it every day.
He's actually
he-
popular enough. I mean, he gets almost as much time in Origin as Char.
Yeah, and the fact
I
he's
mean,
got
different
as many
character, but
suits.
still.
He's got as many suits.
Yeah.
He's the blue one.
Hmm.
He's got
So-
that ugly boo-goo.
I like
Yes,
the boo.
that's
I'm gonna get it.
Oh,
I hate the Bugu.
I
I prefer the G Savior version of the Bugu over the Gundam
Yes.
Origin one.
haven't seen that, so
this looks pretty good actually.
The G Savior one actually looks all right.
Which we like found out by accident. Like we were talking about
Yes.
the Boo-goo, and one of us looked it up. I was like, oh man, we were like, oh wow, this looks nothing like the model. What happened?
the other boo.
Yes.
Boo-goo 2.
One of the
I
few
can't say
times
that
they've
'cause
done
there was
name
a Bugu
reuse
too.
in Gundam, along with Freedom, which was also the name of another mobile suit from G Savior.
Exactly.
Oh,
All right, guys. Let's call it a night because Dan's gonna pass out on us.
Yeah, sure.
We
Hey,
wanna do
I
it.
kinda wanna-
so we-
I kind of want to hear him like he just starts snoring. We're like, oh, whoops.
I don't
No,
snore
I think-
anymore.
Oh,
He's got breathe right strips.
No, I tonsillectomy.
Oh, well, hey, that works too. I was just making a fun joke.
I just sleep like I'm dead.
Just
Yes, you do.
point of interest. I need to get my girlfriend to get her septum undeviated. Since we're talking snoring, sorry, love. Sorry, baby, I love you. Okay, guys, let's call that the end there.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
A weird note to end on, but it's okay. It's been a weird night.
It has been.
Yes, it has.
All right, how do we end these things? I'm new.
We
Kinda
bumble around for a while, and we used to say what we were working on, but I think we also kind of mentioned that when we were talking about what we just did. So
Yeah,
we moved that to the front of the podcast so we're not dead tired when we're talking about that.
Yeah, that was all early on, at least. That makes sense, though. Projects we're on.
Exactly.
What are we looking forward to then?
I mean,
I guess we mentioned that in the beginning as well. So
yeah.
just
I must-
the typical.
I must have been there.
Leave a like, subscribe to all of us. Check out each of us on our channel. If you have questions, leave them. We love to get to know you guys. We love to answer questions.
Ideas for things you might want us to talk about in later episodes.
Yes, please. We need ideas. And we will be doing, or I will be doing a new podcast with a couple of these guys sometime soon. That'll be called Shoki's Nerdcast. And it'll be talking more general nerd topics, not just straight up Gunpla. So, if you follow me at all, you know that I don't just do Gunpla. I do other things that nobody ever watches videos of. So we may as well do a podcast of that.
Except for the Ninja Megazord video, which got a bunch of views for some reason.
Dude, don't even get me started on the fastest growing video I've ever had. 100 views in less than a day. I'm like, what? So
it's not even like really a review. You kind of just talked about how you repaired it.
Yeah, so that wasn't a review. But the thing is, that's a huge topic, and we could talk about that later. But
internet's on fire for it, apparently.
Exactly. So, I mean, none of my other Legacy videos could even touch that. So I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to go ahead and knock out the Legacy Zords.
Yeah, because like your Dragon Dagger video still has like 7 views or something.
I think it was up to like 14.
Okay, that's not bad.
Saba had like none. I have the Communicator, all that stuff, and most of those have got, well, I think the Wally one only has 7 views. I'm like, come on, it's a cute little Wally.
But like nobody would look for that. Like nobody goes online. They're like, I'm gonna look for a video view of this random Wally figure from this one line of Disney things.
Exactly, but that's why it's just kind of randomly on my channel. So if you're here for other things, you can see it and go, hey, I didn't know that was a thing.
Exactly.
That's the point of the Shoki quickies. The 8-bit line from Jack Specific.
Exactly.
Some of them. Oh, speaking of which, you guys should have those by now. Anybody listening who I sent them to should have them by now. Got the Nerdcast coming up. Also have several builds coming up on my channel. Dan, what are you working on right now? I forgot. I missed a lot of the conversation because you're always working on things. Yeah, I was out on a lot of that.
Local type.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, I have a hard time ending videos. Yeah, Rebo. Yeah, I want to see that because I've always wanted that kid because I have the Phoenix.
Oh, that's cool. So high grade or master grade?
Master grade.
Oh wow, that certainly is a kit.
Bling. Bling.
It's a fingerprint magnet.
Yeah, and it's the master grade unicorn, which, as we all know, is the best thing ever.
Hey, I've built 5 of them so far.
You what?
I've built 5 master grade unicorns so far. 6, sorry. Different
like one for each mode, or?
Well, not just straight unicorn. Talking Banshee, Phoenix, the different versions.
Oh, there's the unicorn, there's the Banshee, there's the Phoenix, there's the full armor unicorn.
Exactly.
What, like the Banshee Norn?
Banshee Norn, both.
I took literally as he just built 6 of the unicorn.
Yeah, I just built 6 unicorns because I wanted it in transformation stages.
Yeah, one for each pose.
Exactly.
One for each frame of animation from the show.
There you go. No, I'm just
with like 32 million unicorns all over the room.
That's all it is. Just detolfs of unicorns in multiple stages.
This is my unicorn room.
I love unicorn. Why not?
It's not a room with a display of unicorns. It's a room made from unicorns.
Hey, that sounds like something Bandai probably said. I love unicorn. Why not?
Well, if you see the new upcoming MG unicorn dual color, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could have half red, half green if you really want to be that way.
You could do all the transition points with like 14 copies of the kit.
You could actually sit there and make it work like he's struggling between pink and green, trying to gain control if you really want to.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I did buy both versions of the Banshee Norn so that I could get a actual final battle Banshee. So I'm not even going to use the Norn parts from the second one. I just want that stripped down version of the Banshee with a green Psycho frame.
They made that as another kit, you know. There was like the Verkov or something.
No, I know, but they stopped making that one and then re-released it as the Banshee Norn set.
Oh.
So yeah, believe me, I bought both of them at $138 a piece. I know how expensive. Hey, I love it. You know the hobby gets expensive, guys. But yeah, like I said, you're talking about the unicorn. So I have many of them at this point. Half of which are not on display at the moment.
Unicorn Legion.
Well, at least I only have the one new Gundam.
Currently. I mean, there is that heavy weapon system one coming out.
No, I'm good. I saw Dan's video of the heavy weapon system on the Hi-Nu, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't really need that in my life.
Yeah, not interested enough in the look of most any of them that have the full weapons system. Or no, I
I'm
want to say
definitely
full
getting the
weapons,
high
the full
grade,
armor.
High grade would be fun. Master grade, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like some of the full armor variants. I mean, full armor unicorn is great if you don't put the tanks on it, but
I have nothing on my full armor unicorn because I just didn't like how it looked with all the stuff on it, and he can't hold most of the weapons anyways because he doesn't have a left trigger hand, at least on the high grade. So
My biggest heartbreak in Gundams.
yeah.
I
But
literally just have him as like a green frame destroy mode unicorn right now.
Well, that's not bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
the
it's fine. It's
The
just
master grade, the master grade comes with two things that are absolutely useless, and that's the stupid beam axes. You know,
The big
You
like
don't
halberd
need
looking things.
yeah, the beam javelins or whatever they want to call them. I don't know what they fold
beam
up. all
javelin,
that.
yeah, those
They're-
things. Yep.
When they're installed on the shields, they're just weight. You know, and space if you actually have the beam effect put on it. So I actually gave those away because they're not part of the kit. The unicorn never uses them, so they just
He
threw them
doesn't?
on the Verka to make it different.
Wait, does he actually not use them in the show?
Never does, especially in
Huh.
full armor.
What were they
Yep.
for then?
They used them. Other kits, other suits used them. I don't remember which ones off the top of my head, but it was, of course, it was a Xeon weapon, and they would
Okay.
just pick it up and use it. But he
Kshatriya
never.
Repaired had one as its right arm.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
that.
it did.
It was
So
that. And,
that basically, they just wanted the Verka to have something different, so they gave it the wintergreen treatment on the color, and then gave it those extra beam javelins for no reason, just to add weight to the arms.
Well, I think it's time to
so
try
now
to
I
head
feel
off.
better about not getting the Re 96 version of full armor unicorn high grade because now I feel like I don't need the beam javelin. So thank you for that.
There you go.
No
All
need
right,
to buy
guys.
a $32 kit for a single weapon.
There you go. There you go.
$32 weapon. Alrighty, so
It's been fun. Thanks for having me on. Hopefully, I can come back soon.
thank you for
Yeah, that'd
joining.
be cool.
Yep. And then, of course, half of you guys will be on my Nerdcast soon, so it's not like we won't talk again.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's yeah, it's been fun.
Yep.
And at least from Shokyo 1, everybody needs to keep on building and keep on nerding.
Max Duo saying bye-bye.
I'm Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time.
This is Dan the Plastic Man. Take care, guys. I'll see you at the next one.
Bye-bye.